Alright guys, time for some more prediction game videos. This one is my simulation slash detail prediction for the steel cage match that's going to take place this Sunday. It is going to be John Cena versus Bray Wyatt in a rematch, except this time, of course, in a steel cage to try and prevent Eric Rowan and Luke Harper from interfering. Now, once again, you know, this match, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, in my opinion, is the hardest match to predict. 2 pay-per-views in a row. Now, some people might say, wait, well, what are you talking about? You know, the most unpredictable match or outcome at WrestleMania was Brock Lesnar beating The Undertaker. Yeah, that was like the most unpredictable outcome. You know, it was the biggest surprise. But as far as just... because, you know, everybody was like, pretty much everybody, I assume, was, you know, thinking Taker was going to win. But when it comes to John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, this is like a totally different thing where, you know, before the match actually took place, you know, it was pretty much like a 50-50. It wasn't like, oh, it's definitely this guy, it's definitely Cena that's winning, or oh, it's definitely Bray Wyatt that's winning. Both of them stood a good chance at winning. The case of Brock versus The Undertaker was a case of everybody thinking it's really obvious, or the majority of the people think it's really obvious, including myself, but then, you know, the biggest surprise takes place. Anyways, bottom line, Cena versus Bray Wyatt, to me, was a really unpredictable match. I wasn't sure who was going to win, and while I did go with Bray Wyatt, I could definitely see Cena winning too. And Cena did end up winning, so I got it wrong. And it's the same thing here, you know. And initially I thought the rematch would maybe be, you know, a little easier to predict, which I think it is, but just by a little tiny bit. And the reason for that is I had forgotten about something. See, The Undertaker's streak might have ended at WrestleMania, but there's another streak which John Cena holds. Now, of course, this streak isn't as big or as, you know, important as The Undertaker's streak, but John Cena is actually undefeated at Extreme Rules. He's never lost at Extreme Rules since Extreme Rules debuted. Since 2009, he's never lost a match at the pay-per-view. He beat Big Show. He's beaten The Miz and John Morrison in a triple threat match to win the championship. And that was actually a steel cage match, just like this one's going to be. And he's beaten Brock Lesnar, Batista. The closest John Cena's came to losing at Extreme Rules was last year, when he took on Ryback, defended the championship against Ryback. It was a draw. He didn't win the match, but he didn't lose the match either. So, Cena's 4-0 at Extreme Rules. Now, of course, 4-0, it's not, you know, a huge streak or a huge number of wins here. And so it wouldn't be that big of a deal if Bray Wyatt, you know, beats Cena. As far as, you know, streak-wise, you know, a victory over Cena, it'd be a big victory for Bray Wyatt, but it wouldn't be a big deal if he breaks the streak, because it's not... I mean, the streak isn't even acknowledged as far as I'm aware. As far as I know, they haven't acknowledged that Cena is undefeated at Extreme Rules. Now, on top of that, John Cena's record in steel cage matches is pretty good, actually. John Cena hasn't lost too many steel cage matches. He's in a steel cage. I know John Cena's been Edge. He's been, like I said, The Miz and John Morrison. He's beaten Big Show, also Dolph Ziggler. And as far as people who've beat John Cena in a steel cage match, honestly, I can't think of too many. I can't think of any. Actually, I'm not positive on this, and don't take this as a fact or anything, but the only person I remember beating John Cena in a steel cage match is Sheamus. Apart from that, I do not remember Cena losing another steel cage match, although he might have. But bottom line, he hasn't lost too many steel cage matches. He's won more cage matches than he's lost. And not only that, it's not only a John Cena thing, but usually steel cage matches, when it comes to, you know, when it's a heel versus a face, not face versus face, but heel versus face, I find that most of the time the face wins in a steel cage match, because a steel cage match is made so that there is no interference. And when you're a face, when it's a face versus a heel, you know, it's usually the heel that tends to have somebody interfere to help them rather than somebody interfering to help the face. So, you know, all these reasons, or all these things that I just talked about here, they all, you know, point to Cena winning the match, or, you know, favor Cena. But, you know, steel cage matches, despite it, you know, being, there's a structure, you know, around the ring, and it's supposed to stop other superstars from entering the cage or interfering. You know, people have interfered in cage matches before. They've cost people matches. I mean, the match I was just talking about, the steel cage match, where Sheamus beat John Cena, in that match, Nexus interfered. And Nexus, John Cena was trying to escape the cage. Nexus surrounded the cage so that, you know, if Cena were to try and climb down the cage, they would stop Cena. So Cena didn't really want to climb down the cage, because all the members of Nexus were waiting for him down there. So, you know, things like that could take place. You could have, and that's something I could definitely see taking place here, where Eric Rowan and Luke Harper could stop Cena from climbing out the cage. If he decides to climb out from the top of the cage, they could stand there right below John Cena, waiting for him, you know, scaring him from climbing down the cage, stopping him. And not only that, but we've also seen superstars actually get in the cage and interfere. So, you know, get in either by climbing up the cage or breaking the cage door. We've seen it before. So, you know, the whole reason why John Cena picked the cage match is for it to be Cena versus Bray Wyatt, and for him to not have Eric Rowan and Luke Harper interfere. And I think putting that as a stipulation, you know, making it a cage match so that other people don't interfere, it's when you then have the person that, I guess, the person that gets put in the steel cage match, because they're known to have other people interfere, when you have that person then win the cage match when they were expected to lose, because, you know, Cena, in this case, Cena beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania when Eric Rowan and Luke Harper were at ringside. And John Cena even took out, you know, Luke Harper through the barricade and still won the match in the end. So then when you put the steel cage match stipulation, then it kind of, you know, makes people think that, hey, well, you know, at WrestleMania, Cena beat Bray Wyatt, and he also took down Luke Harper. So, of course, you know, he's going to beat Bray Wyatt here because it's in a cage. So, this time, Luke and Eric can't even interfere. So, Cena's definitely going to win. I think that is, it's a good way to pull off a surprise win for Bray Wyatt, because it's not expected. At WrestleMania, I could see a lot of the people that picked Bray Wyatt to win. You know, I think a lot of them, including myself, picked Bray Wyatt to win because, you know, they thought maybe Luke Harper, Eric Rowan would provide a distraction or something like that that would allow Bray Wyatt to win. But what ended up happening was Cena won. In a situation where Cena seemed to be at a disadvantage. Now, look at this scenario right here. You've got a steel cage match. Cena requested the steel cage match against Bray Wyatt specifically to keep the rest of the Wyatt family from interfering in the match, to keep it one-on-one. So in this situation, it looks like Bray Wyatt is at a disadvantage. So, you know, what better way to even out the odds, and not even out the odds, I mean, but give Bray Wyatt the win, then have him win in this unexpected environment where it looks more like Cena has the advantage. Not only that, but I think this feud is going to continue on after Extreme Rules and end at Payback. So for it to continue, I feel it only makes sense to have Bray Wyatt win the second match, because if Cena wins the first and second match and stops Bray's message from spreading, then what's the point in facing him in another match? Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, as always, you can click that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it, and I'm out. See you guys.